Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Let's have some fun. Come on in. I just want to share a quick thought with you, encourage you a little bit, push you forward a little bit, because that's what I do. So come on in here. Come on, get some. Come get some of this good stuff. It's a wonderful day. Hope it's a wonderful day for everybody else. Weather kind of crazy outside, but it is what it is. But like I taught you before, you command the day. You make of the day what you want the day to be. So I'll wait for a few people to come on in. Y'all been kind of slow trickling in here as of late. So I'll give you a little bit of time to come in. Give you a little bit of time to come in. Hope everybody's doing great. My name is Norris Williams, investor and motivator at norrisnetwork.com. And I teach people how to make more money. And I primarily teach that money is a spiritual discipline more so than anything else. Because it's easy, like in the formula I tell people is wealth building is a two-step process. The one step is mindset, the other step is mechanics. And so many people focus on the mechanics of you'll take a course on how to invest in real estate, how to invest in stocks, how to invest in bonds, or saving till you're blue in the face, as Dave Ramsey teaches, and things of that nature. But I've never met one person ever in life who says, I don't want to make any more money. I've never met the person. There's some people that make excuses that, money isn't everything. Well, the next time your light's about to get turned off, call the electricity company and say, hey, money ain't everything. And you'll be in the dark tomorrow. So I want to take the evil stigma away from money. I want to take the fear of money away from you. And do understand, I'm not saying everybody has to be a multi-billionaire or a multi-millionaire. I just want everybody to be good to where money is not a worry for you. My number one goal is for money to not to be a worry, and you can live life the way you want to live life. So let's get right into it. I was asked a question. I got an inbox from, I think it was on Facebook. I think someone asked me what was the one moment that changed everything for me up here? What was the one moment that clicked? And it was a whole bunch of them throughout my life, and I've shared some with you, but I want to go back to the most important one that really showed me that this whole thing was possible. I moved to Houston in 1999 after I graduated from college, and my first foray into entrepreneurship was network marketing, because everybody and their mother does network marketing at one point in life or another. Network marketing is responsible for creating a lot of entrepreneurs outside of network marketing, because it gives you the first taste of what it's really like to run your own business. So I can't remember the name of the company I was in. I was in a few of them. Can't remember the name of the company, but in network marketing, it's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of enthusiasm. It's a lot of team building. You have your disappointments in there too, but their business model is totally different than anyone else's as far as building people. There is no other industry, and I'm giving 1,000% credit for this in network marketing. There is no other industry on the face of the earth that emphasizes developing the person or personal development than there is network marketing. One of the first things they ever teach you is how to develop yourself and how to grow yourself and how to maximize yourself. Most careers just teach you how to go out and hustle and make money. But, and it's a beautiful thing too, but network marketing really teaches you to really get to know yourself on an intimate level, to really figure out what your barriers are to success, what your fears are. Why are you not where you want to be right now? Why do you care so much about what other people say? Network marketing really exposes and draws that out of you. Now, some people make a lot of money. Most people don't statistically, but I still think it's one of the most viable industries for that person who just wants to make an extra couple $100 a month, extra $1,000 a month, extra $2,000 a month. Someone who really likes their career, but they still need a little extra to really live life like they want to, to go eat those extra dinners they want to with their family, or send their child to that Ivy League school or whatever it may be for them, or to take the family vacations without having to scrimp and scrape and plan and say they can just do it. Network marketing is great for that. For those who, because not everybody is crazy as hell like me and some of my friends that just want to jump in feet deep and just figure the whole thing out after you jump. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but for some of us, that's just the only way. Like I like how Will Smith says, plan B is only a distraction from plan A. You don't need a plan B. I really believe that you don't need one for certain people. That's not for everybody, but for those that will, plan B is a distraction from plan A. So in this company I was in, it might have been Primerica, it might have been Prepaid Legal. It was one of those companies. I don't know. I was in 4 or 5 different ones, and I enjoyed every one of them. And I still have friends from every single one of them. I still have a lot of friends that are really successful at it, and other friends that have went on to go do other things. They might have went off into real estate or went off to, a lot of people doing crypto now, a lot of people doing stock trading, Forex trading, or whatever. But everybody finds their own path. Like I said, we're all running the same race to success. We're just in different lanes. Some people in, lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, all the way into infinity. So we're all running the same race. It's just a matter of when we arrive or how fast we're going or what vehicle we're in. And a lot of us don't stay in one vehicle long enough to see the results. That's a conversation for a whole other time. I just wanted to share that with you. But we were at a conference. I think it was in Dallas, I want to say. And I'm still green. I like the excitement more than anything because, hell, I'm not making a whole lot of money. But I see the opportunity to make a lot of money, which is what excited me so much. It's kind of easy to stay in when you can tangibly see the results. You can see the person that's making $5, $6, $10, $20, $50,000 a month. You can see the person that has the nice house, the nice car, and when you can tangibly see it, it creates something. It creates a big belief in you that, okay, I can do that too. And that's a large part of what network marketing sells. So we're at this event, rah, 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 sis, boom, bye. Everybody's having fun. And it was like a 3-day event because, they go forever. And it was on the last day. And, we was all excited, but, you still get tired. So I remember it was almost over. You have the grand finale at the end. Everybody wins their awards and you clap for your leader and all that kind of stuff. Great. That was great. But the one thing that happened is a gentleman that walked up to me, older gentleman. So let's see, I should have been about 23, 24 at the time. Older gentleman. He was like, I'm sure he was 55 or 60 or maybe even older. And he walked up to me and said, son, you know how old folks call you, son. Son, I have something you need. And I'm like, okay. So he handed me a book. And I'm like, okay, I had a whole bunch of books, but I didn't have this book in particular. And a lot of people are going to recognize this book when I say the title of it. But this book is responsible for changing the lives of so many people. So many people. He handed me this book. And the title of the book was Think and Grow Rich. I'm like, whoa, I want to be rich. I really want to be rich. Because, I'm coming from academia. Got my master's degree, got my MBA. I'm feeling myself, hot stuff. So I'm thinking, what could possibly be in this book that would help me get rich to where I'm not headed already? Because, I'm thinking the degrees will just get you there. When I tell you, after reading like the first 10 pages, I was blown away. I felt like somebody had hidden the secrets to ultimate wealth from me intentionally all my life. Man, I started reading that book, and for a lot of people watching this have already read the book. But for those who haven't or never even heard of the book, let me give you a little bit of background on it. The author of the book is Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was he started out to be a lawyer by trade. That didn't work out. So he was a journalist for a while. He did a few other things, but ultimately he ended up meeting with one of the richest men in the world by happenstance, Andrew Carnegie, who was, one of the richest people in the world back then. He did a lot for humanity. Well, some people knock his work, his work practices and that kind of thing. All that stuff can be debated, but that's not the point right now. He was one of the richest, most influential person in the world back then in the first part of the 1900s. Steel magnate. He had real estate. He had his hands pretty much in everything. By today's standards, he'd be a multi-billionaire. So he called young Napoleon Hill in and commissioned him to write a book interviewing at least 500 of the most wealthy and successful people in the world. People back then were like the Vanderbilts and Andrew Carnegie and Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, the big magnates of yesteryear, who are still some of the most successful people that we've ever seen in the world. So Andrew Carnegie knew all these people. And he said, I want you to put together a work. And in this work, I want you to interview all these people. And I want you to take all the lessons you learn from these people, condense it all into something practical that an everyday Joe can use to become rich and wealthy and successful. But he said there's a catch. Now he said, let me back up. He said, now I'll write you a letter of introduction to all these people, so you'll be able to get in and talk to every single one of them, because I'm giving you a letter of recommendation to all 500 of these men. But he said the catch is, I'm not going to pay you. And it'll probably take you 15 to 20 years to complete this work, but I'm not going to pay you. So at that moment, he said, what's your decision? Now, Napoleon Hill found out later on that Andrew Carnegie had a certain amount of time in his head that if Napoleon Hill didn't answer affirmatively in a certain amount of time, he's going to cut him off and tell him no. So the story goes that he said yes at the very last second before Andrew Carnegie was going to commission him to do the job. So he ended up saying yes. One of the first people interviewed was Henry Ford, because Henry Ford, once he created the assembly line for the automobile industry, changed. Because before then, it took forever, and it took a lot of manpower, and they were making cars one at a time. There was no assembly line. It was more like what you call today custom or boutique. They created, you order the car, they create it, it will take forever to get it, and that's the way it was. But Henry Ford created the assembly line. I'm not even going to say he created it. He improved the assembly line process, because there were certain people who were doing something similar already. So Napoleon Hill said, okay. So over the next 20 years, he got letters of recommendation to all 500 of these people to interview all these people. And he put them all in a book called Think and Grow Rich that you can still get on Amazon right now. There are a whole bunch of other supplementary books to it, like the 17 Principles of Success and Outwitting the Devil. But if you go look up Napoleon Hill, his basic teachings come from him interviewing all these men over those years. So after that 20 years, after Mr. Carnegie had long died or whatever, then Napoleon Hill became a world famous speaker, author, trainer. He basically took and made a living of all this information. And this information is still available to us right now. And the lessons are crazy. Like the first one is definiteness of purpose. So I believe we all have a certain talent, skill, or ability because we're here to perform a certain mission. So to use an analogy, let's just say before we enter this physical realm, because I believe there's a spiritual realm and a physical realm. Before we got here, at some point we had to discuss with our creator, hey, when I go here, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Well, to do X, Y, and Z, you have to have talent A, B, and C to perform that function. So before we get here, we already have that, and we're delivered here at a certain amount of time, at a certain point in time, we're delivered at a certain point in time where we can carry that out. But what happens when we get here, the world says, hey, you got to do this. You can't do that. You're not good enough. You're smart. You're too smart. You're too dumb. You're too ugly. You're too pretty. You're too this. You're too that. And we feed into that. And we let that take us off our path. And we just become cool with being like everybody else. And we're so unique. There's so much uniqueness about every one of us. And that's by design. Like they talk about nobody's fingerprint is the same in the world. And like there are about 7 billion people in the world right now. Imagine all the people that have came before us and all the people that have come after us. But nobody's fingerprint is the same. That's a testament to your uniqueness. And there is a mission that you should be on while you're here. There's a certain talent, skill, and ability that you have that nobody else has for a mission that you're supposed to be taking out. But you're neglecting that and setting that to the side because you're afraid of what people might say. You're afraid of you might get rejected, or you're afraid of some people are lazy. They just don't want to try, or they can't link how their talent, skill, and ability can create an income for them to sustain them and even make their family thrive beyond the point of where they are right now. We're so happy with being mediocre that I don't even think we know we're being mediocre because we excuse our way into mediocrity. That's just the way it is. You heard anybody say that before? That's just the way it is. Or those folks not gonna let us do this, or that doesn't make sense, or I'm before my time, or I'm after my time. We excuse our way into mediocrity because when you in a realm of mediocrity, there's no challenge. It's easy to be mediocre. That's why so many people stay there. It's easy to be average. But guess what? You know you don't like being mediocre. You know you don't like being average. How do I know? Because you talk shit about the people that are above average. We wait to see people fail. We cheer on people's failure. Just look at social media. We wait for people to fail. So we say, nope, I told you. See, I knew it. See, I knew that's too good to be true. See, I knew he was cheating. I knew every time. We look for mess, as the old folks say. We look for mess to get into. And we cheer people's downfall, and we hate them rising up. We hate successful people. We hate them. Now, we don't hate them by nature. We'll just talk by the ones before us to hate the successful people. That's why a lot of us are afraid to be successful, because we don't want to be hated. That's why a lot of people hide the money that they have. They hide the success from others because they don't want to be hated. They don't want to be hated on, because most people who are wealthy didn't do anything wrong. Now, there are some scoundrels. There are some people who cheated the system. There are some people who were born into wealth, yes. But we're not going to allow that to be an excuse, at least for this session today. We're not going to allow that to be an excuse, because the world is abundant. And if you believe in God like you say you believe in God, which I've learned most people don't, but if you believe in God like you say you do, you know that God is a God of abundance. Whether that's God or creator or source or Allah or Mother Nature, whomever your creator you refer to is, because here we welcome people of all disciplines. So whomever your greater being is abundant. Everything in the world is abundant. Human beings created scarcity. And I remember in high school, in Coach Seeley's class, he taught economics, and we had a song called economics song. Economics is the science concerned with scarcity. Economics is the science concerned with scarcity. So we have a science based in scarcity, and God said the world is abundant. So we teach scarcity as if it's normal, when scarcity is it's abnormal. It's not real. Scarcity is created. For example, why is it that we have a bottled water industry when the world is 80% water? Why? Why do we have to pay for something that's free? Somebody created scarcity and put a price tag on it. That's all. It's 80% water. And there are ways, I know that some people are like, well, I'm too inland. There are still waterways that go inland that can bring water to where you are. And there are engineers who can create that. Even there are a lot of people who say these are, some scientific people have put out the theory that we have the oil and gas industry. And there are some people who say that fossil fuels are not really scarce, that they're actually pretty plenty, but you have to create a sense of scarcity in order for it to have worth. How crazy is that? How insanely crazy is that? Because we can have energy, we can have green renewable energy, we can have other energy sources like the sun, like wind. We don't have to create these dangerous fossil fuels and continue to pollute the atmosphere. Now, we can talk about this later on, but this is, I don't want to get, a lot of people politicize that. I'm just talking from a common sense point of view, that everything that we needed, God already provided it. God or source or, Allah, whoever you might refer to as your creator. Earth was created abundantly for everybody. There's enough to go around. There's absolutely enough to go around. So, kind of going on a tangent there, and I'm glad you guys have joined me on the day. But that's the one thing that happened. I was introduced to that book, and I felt like I had been lied to my entire life. Think and Grow Rich is a book you must get, and I actually teach on some of the principles too in another course that's outside of the realm of what we're talking about right now. But once I can honestly look back now and say, at that moment when I read that book, for the first time, I was blown away. But then, you come back later on, you study it, and you get the right points, you get what you need out of it. I can honestly tell my life was going like this, and then it took one of these after I implemented the strategies in that book. So I strongly encourage you to get the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you got something out of what I was talking about today, comment yes below, sharing. That's why I put share and comment. Oh, here we go. There we go. Right there. That's why I put share and comment right there. So because the interaction is not being what it needs to be for the algorithm. The algorithm. And I'm really trying to take this to a lot of people all over the world. And even if, like I said, if you don't buy anything from me at the moment, which I'll be introducing my products in a little while, but if you don't buy anything from me at the moment, at least you can invest a share and a comment to help the algorithm and help more people find out about what we're doing here. So once again, my name is Norris Williams. I hope you have a great morning. I wasn't doing an overtop lesson today, just something for my personal journey, because I think people can identify with journey sometimes more than just teaching some hardcore lesson and you have to think and all that. I just want you to take that first step forward, because so many of us are sitting on the bench of our own lives. We won't even enter the game of our own lives. We'll sit on the bench and look at the other field that somebody else is playing next to us, but we won't play on our own field. How insane is that? Mediocrity is a sin. Say that again. Mediocrity is a sin. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back again tomorrow. So enjoy it, share it, comment, like it. And I look